welcome to today's SMR stretch, specifically focused on weight training and stretching out some things that we would normally get tight during our HIIT 30 sessions or bikini body camp. We're going to start with the feet. Today we're going to start by standing on our activator. I like the bumpy side up for this. We're going to start by wrapping our toes over the front of the ball to kind of give it a good toe stretch. Okay. And then moving down into the arch of the foot, rocking your foot side to side, front to back. This is going to help break up any of that stuck fascia tissue that can cause plantar fasciitis. All right, moving into the heel. Again, I'm going to kind of massage it around a little bit. Let's do that on the other side, starting by wrapping your toes over the ball. Oh, that feels like such a good stretch. Then moving to the ball of the foot, rocking side to side and front to back. And then the heel. All right, setting that aside, let's do a few foot fitness drills. So finding even balance through the heel, the balls of the feet, and each one of your toes. I want you to lift your toes up, spread them out, and then bring them down and kind of grip the mat. This is going to activate the inner arch of your foot and the muscles there. Spreading the toes out are going to give us better balance. And if we're wearing shoes, our feet tend to get squinched up in our shoes. Squeeze one more. All right, we're going to return back to the floor, but you can also do these exercises on the wall using our Rolga. We're going to start facing prone with our face towards the mat. We're going to put our legs in the outside valleys of our roller. Coming down into a forearm plank position. So your arms are nice and wide. We're going to start at the right above the knee, and we're going to push back up towards the hip. Rolling back and forward. You can use your feet for support. Oh, that feels nice. Now you can turn your toes to the outside, so it's rolling a slightly different part of your muscle. And then you can roll your feet so the toes are touching each other to get more of the inside part of the muscle. All right. Flipping over now. We're going to move to the hamstrings and glutes. So your tailbone is going to be in the center valley here of your Rolga, and your legs are still going to be in the outside. I'm going to start sitting on the Rolga. So as we sit, our gluteus muscles are going to be massaged as we gently lean back and forward. You could also do this in a chair if you weren't getting down on the floor. Sometimes if it's a squishy chair, it's more difficult to move the roller. And if you lean back a little bit more, you'll get your upper glute connections. Does that feel good? Yeah, it does. You feel some release there? We're going to move on to the hamstrings here now on the back of the legs. So we don't want to ever go on the joint. So once you get above the back of your knee connections, that's where you're going to stop. But you're going to slowly scoot back. Okay. And roll the back of the leg here. Okay. Releasing the hamstring. All right, that felt really nice. If you want to drop down to your bottom here to get the leg a little bit more, you can. It will give you a little bit more stability. We're going to come to a standing position now that we've done some release and stretch out those muscles, starting with a quad stretch. So your first option is using the chair for your quad stretch. The second option, you can use the chair for balance and grab the top of the foot for your quad stretch. The third option, I'm going to rotate to the side, is a dancer pose where you grab the inside of your foot versus the outside of your foot. And you're going to lean forward a little bit, pressing into that hand for a bigger stretch. Now, if you have good balance today and you want to try to let go of the chair, you can extend the opposite arm. All right, let's do that on the other side. Again, your options are to place the leg on the chair, to grab the outside of the leg in a quad stretch, or the inside, finding your balance, tipping at the hip. Again, as you do this and we press into the hand here, we're going to get a bigger stretch. All right, coming back to a standing position, kick one leg in front of you and push back into your other leg, into your glute. For a hamstring stretch, you should feel it in the leg that you have the foot flexed, and you should also feel it in your calf here. Looking out in front of your toe. Let's cross that leg over the thigh now for a figure four stretch. Now, if you're not feeling that bendy today, we can also do across the ankle or over the thigh. Just make sure whether you're seated or standing that you don't have any pressure on that ankle joint. The bigger we sink into this, the bigger stretch we're going to feel on the outside of the leg. All right, let's do that on the other side. So kick the leg forward, flex the foot, shift your weight back. I'm going to rotate to the side so you can see it from a different position. Feeling that good stretch from the heel all the way up the leg. Coming into a figure four stretch, crossing that leg over, or using the seated option, crossing over the thigh or the ankle. Chest up nice and tall. And come on up. All right, feet are a little bit wider than shoulder width here. We're gonna work on some hip mobility next. Hip circles, almost like you're doing the hula. Keeping our feet flat on the ground, but we're moving our hip in big circles. And reverse, other side. One more. Torso twist. So I'm going to take my hands in like a prisoner squat, gentle, opening the chest here, pulling my elbows towards the back of the room, rotate and twist, twist. So I'm bringing my leg up because we don't want to cause any pressure on our knee or ankle, and rotating to the side. All right, leg swings. So I'm gonna face the chair here. We're gonna cross the leg, facing your chair, and bring the leg up, cross and up. From a standing position, it's gonna look like this. Your chair would be in front of you for stability. Pointing the toe. Take that foot wide. We're going to do a wide forward fold here. So first, tip at the hip, push your butt towards the back of your room, flat back for your hamstring stretch, and then round your back and let your arms hang. Come on up. Leg swings on the other side. Cross the leg, point and reach. Again, you can use your chair for balance. We're trying to get a big range of motion. All right. Moving on to some SMR work now for our upper back and neck. Again, we can do these on the wall or the floor here. I'm starting with my Rolga. Again, your spine is protected. It's in this middle groove. We're gonna start at the mid back or where your bra would sit. If you have a hooded sweatshirt or long hair, we wanna make sure we tuck it up so you don't accidentally run it over. Hands gently supporting your head as we roll back. Chest is open. I already feel cracking and popping there, as well as muscle release. So when our muscles get over tight in areas, we have a reduced range of motion. We could have tightness or tension. I was driving yesterday and I noticed I was having a hard time turning my head to the right because my muscles were so tight, it was impeding that movement. Yes, yes it does. So you might find that you have a couple areas that are still a little tender or tight. We're gonna hit those trigger points with our activator ball. Again, I like the textured side, but you can play around with this because SMR is very personal and everyone's different. If this is too intense, you can always go to your softer ball kit. We're gonna roll. Place the ball where you feel like you had that tension, and then gently roll onto it. If you don't have it in the right spot, you can always make an adjustment. And you're just gonna lay on it there. Taking nice deep breaths and allowing that muscle to relax that tension away. We have to remember that the self-myofascial release is also like a personal massage. So it's going to work best if after our session today, you make sure you drink lots of water to hydrate because the muscles need that. All right, let's adjust the ball to another area. I'm gonna switch to the other side here. An option when you're doing the upper shoulder area is to add some arm movement here.
Amazing how tense your shoulders and neck can get.
Yes. Tension in your shoulders and neck can impede good posture. It can cause injury and can even cause headaches. All right, you can adjust your ball. We're gonna do 2 more spots. So I'm gonna stay on this side and then I'm gonna go back to the left side because I only did 1 on that side. Picture that muscle relaxing as you breathe deeply into that space. All right. 1 more spot, switch it to another spot. I like to try to make the spots that I'm targeting even on both sides in terms of location, because oftentimes we don't realize that we have tension on one area if we have pain on another, but we don't want to be crooked. All right. Coming to a seated position, we're going to take the bumpy, where the hand grips are on our ball, and just rock them on the neck. I'm going to bring my chair because we're going to do a couple neck stretches. And on the other side, we're just rocking it up. Maybe you do a little bit on where your shirt or your bra would hit. Just rocking. All right, so we've loosened up our neck a little bit. It's time to do some neck stretches. We're gonna drop our head to one side. You're gonna feel the stretch on the other side. If you want a little bit more stretch, just gently place your hand on top of the head. And back to center. Let's do that on the other side. Drop your head. Gently place the hand. And relax. Now from a neutral position, let's look down. Feel the stretch in the top of your neck here. Look up and down. Up and down. One more. Neutral position. We're going to look right and left now. Now, if you still feel tightness or tension, or it's a little crunchy in your neck, you could go back and do a little bit more SMR work later. All right, coming to a standing position. Reach up overhead and grab your wrist with your other hand and stretch. Reach up center, bring your shoulders down away from your ears. Now grab the opposite wrist and side stretch. Taking our arms open and wide, like you're gonna give a big hug. We can do that hug here. A little bit of self-love. Notice what arm is on the top, because we're going to switch this time. Open and switch. This time when we open, we're going to take our hands to the small of our back or lace those arms together for a little bit more stretch. You should also feel that stretch in your biceps a little bit, as well as your chest and shoulders. Take those arms now, we're going to cross them in front. They're crossed, and then clap them together. Now look down towards your feet and press your back towards the wall behind you. For a good back stretch. And release. Tricep stretch. We're going to use our band for this. So grab your resistance band. If you don't have a I like the resistance band because it's stretchy, but you could also use a towel, a belt, a yoga strap. We're going to take it up over our head and drop it down for our tricep stretch. Then we're going to take our other hand behind and grab the band and gently pull to extend that stretch.
Okay.
Are you feeling that in your arm that's up by your head?
Yeah.
Good. This will help improve your range of motion in your tricep as well. Okay, so same thing on the other side. Take the handle or the top of your band, bring your arm up at your head, drop that arm back. You're taking your other hand behind, grab onto the band and just pull gently to extend the stretch. Now we always want to do this gently. We don't ever want to overstretch an area. So it should feel like you're getting a stretch, but you don't want to pull too much and hurt yourself. Over time, if you do stretches like this on a regular basis, your flexibility will slowly improve.
Right.
Our last stretch today is going to be on the floor, a seated bicep stretch. If you're not getting on the floor, you can do a standing wall stretch where you have your door frame or your wall. I could do it right here and stretch on the wall, but we're going to do a floor option. So you're seated in a C-sit position. Your hands are slightly beside you here. And we're going to scoot our butt to the front and the back. As we pull forward, you should feel the stretch in your bicep and your shoulder. We want to make sure we keep our elbows soft here. We never want to lock out the joint, scooting forward. And stretch. When we stretch forward, we can flex our feet and we're getting a little bit of a leg stretch there.
Okay.
This is also a good little stretch for your wrists. I hope you feel stretched out and relaxed. Thank you for joining me for SMR Stretch Weight Training Edition. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram at SMR Stretch.